in the summer. The coldest winter was in the summer or something. Yeah.
So the two most misattributed people in America, in American history, are Mark Twain and Abraham Lincoln.
They didn't say all this thing.
Yeah, right. It's like Yogi Berra said, I didn't say half the stuff I said.
That took a minute to sink in.
You're right.
Rabbi Paul Citron, how are you?
You're muted, Rabbi.
You're muted.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom to all of you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay.
Okay, come sit, Diane. Or not.
Rabbi Citron.
Hi, Connie.
I do, because I don't want
Hello, Rabbi Citron Senior. I was talking to your son the other day saying I can't figure out how to message you and send you a chat. And what I want to say is I'm so happy that you're able to join your son in the Temple Beth David community on Shabbat.
Thank you. Well, we're very happy too.
The only thing you could do maybe better would be go to Sanibel Island and see Rabbi Fuchs.
Well, I've done that a couple of times.
Okay, there you go.
And I spoke to him yesterday and all is well.
Oh, that's good to hear.
And then you could go to services twice too on Friday night, right, Rabbi Citron? You know.
I could, but I don't do that.
Okay.
Micah and Karen provide me with enough. I say Dayenu every week.
Okay.
He says Diane after it. Thanks, Dad. Well, on that, we should
Sure.
probably start to pray. Good to see everyone. We are on page 10, and you can make sure that you're muted, and if not, Yona will make sure you're muted. And it's good to be together. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לי, לה 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 לי, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לי, לה 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 לי, הנה מה טוב ומנעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים. יאללה לי לי לי, יאללה לי לי, הנה מה טוב ומנעים. יאללה לי לי, יאללה לי לי, הנה מה טוב ומנעים. שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנעים. שבת אחים גם יחד. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue in song. On page 10, the bottom of the page, we find the words of the great Hebrew poet Chaim Nachman Bialik. The sun on the treetop no longer is seen. The more I think about it, I realize the sun on the treetops has not been seen all day. So much for spring weather. But as the sun does go down, we think of Bialik's words and that feeling of peace that descends on the world. And as you'll see throughout the service, we're going to be bringing in an Israeli influence through our Shabbat.
You can stay on those words or join in the Hebrew. Shabbat Shalom. We're so glad you are joining us this evening for our living room Shabbat, from our home to yours. We see those of you who are on Zoom, and we know others are joining us through our live stream. It is hard to wake up to the news of another mass shooting in our country, and as we enter into Shabbat, may this time truly bring shalom, peace to us and to all near us and our loved ones. We pray for peace and joy and a little bit of rest after this week, and that we may enter into a new week with renewed hope and renewed spirit. As Rabbi Micah said, we're going to be weaving in some Israeli music this evening into our Shabbat service in honor of Israel's 73rd birthday this week, Yom HaAtzmaut. And it's probably good that we're not at Temple, because with this weather, it was almost winter today. I'm not sure how many of you would have left your home. So we're actually glad that we're connected this way. If you're on Zoom, you can take a moment to wave at one another. We'll have an opportunity to greet after our service. At this point, we are very honored to turn our screen over to the home of Brenda and Liana Fraser, who are going to bless our Shabbat candles this evening on pages 2 and 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Are those showing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're going to say that.
Which one?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Thank you so much, Brenda and Liana, for bringing in the light of Shabbat. Again, Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue to welcome the Shabbat bride on page 20 with Lecha Dodi, again, a melody from Israel, from the group Nava Tehillah. We'll join in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and at the last verse, we invite you to rise in body or in spirit to bring in Shabbat.
Likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad yishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad Shemo echad, l'shem tiferet v'chitila, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, likrat Shabbat, v'chuvenecha. מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה
You can find our call to prayer on page 28.
Chana Senesh, another one of Israel's great poets, on a walk outside of her kibbutz near Caesarea, wrote these immortal words speaking of her yearning, her desire for eternity, looking at the cycle of the tide, the storms of nature, the storms of the human heart. You can find Halicha la Caesarea, Eli Eli, on page 349. And as we think of these images of nature in Israel, we note the passage of time and season.
True.
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Machuto Le'olam Va'ed. Continue with Ve'ahavta on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha v'derech u'shochbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot b'neinecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. I would invite you to join with me on page 37. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, and every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Join in Micha Mocha, page 40.
Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai Micha Mocha nehedar b'kodesh Torah tehilot ol sefer Torah tehilot ol sefer Alechutecha
Yifad Adonai et Yaakov, Ugelo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We'll transition now to page 42, Hashkivenu, our prayer for bringing on the evening, our prayer that remembers Jerusalem and asks God to spread God's Sukkot Shalom, God's shelter of peace over us and extending all the way to Yerushalayim. Hope you'll join with us. Adonai, hapore sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 45. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We rise in body or in spirit for our tefillah, our central prayer, which will begin all together, and then take a few moments to offer the prayers from our hearts. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufia ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geulah livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah rav lehoshia, Morid hatal. Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha bal gevurot, Umidot
melech, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol, baruch ata Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Continue silently.
Conclude our individual meditation, our silent prayer, with acknowledging both the bitter and sweet in life and asking that God watch over all of it. Nomi Shemers al Kol Ele. Page 347. Al hadvash ve'al ha'oket, al hamar ve'hamatok, al mitenu hatinoket shmor eli atok, al ha'esh ha'mevoret, al ha'mayim hazakim, al ha'ish hashav habayta min ha'merchakim, al kol
Al Thank you for indulging us as we took a journey back to our days living in Israel, to Jewish summer camp. We know Rabbi Paul Citron was singing along. Avi, if you're on, we're going to turn our thoughts now to our prayer for healing, which you can find on page 253 as we take this time in our service to pray for loved ones who are ill at this time. And as I'm sharing, members of our community, if there are any other names you would like to add into the chat, if you're on Zoom, you can, or you can add any other names in your hearts. We are especially praying for Colin Monroe, Jerry Seligman, Inbar Bataviva, Elad Ben Aviva, Samuel Bergeron, Peter Bergeron, Maddie Batalinda Walter, Guy Ben Rita, David Ben Marcel, Mary Lou Hole, Janet Watson, Paul Robillard, Elizabeth Hill, Kelso Silva, Enrico Mascaro, Deborah Booker, Ori Batchila, Yigal Ben Sara, Dick Feibelman, Ari Ben Talia, Net Zerachian, Ashley Bat Debbie, Mayor, son of Max, Carol, daughter of Alice, Rivka Bat Aliza, Edith Bat Sarah, Mordechai Ben Chaya Rivka, Yitzchak Saidyan, Amy Seich, Robert Bloom, Annalie Stone, Bernard Tarr, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Mateo Goldman, Judy Cook, Fruma Bat Harav, Jacob Bissonia, Dan Ruggiero, Harvey Grassfield, Toby Weiner, Svetlana Rabinovich, Harvey Atkins, Bob Weller, Dahlia Harrell, Herb Borofsky, Herb Kupferschmidt, Esya Rushevskaya, Amy Fasberg Kurtz, Eileen Arnone, and the tens of thousands Israelis who were wounded in the years of establishing the Jewish state in Israel.
Shabbat Shalom. This week, the Jewish world celebrated Israel's 73rd Yom HaAtzmaut. Each passing Independence Day is an opportunity to reflect on the marvel of the existence of a sovereign Jewish state, the fluke of Jewish history that we live at a time when Jews have a home, and our own personal relationships with Israel. I've been a Zionist my entire life and really see it as an extension of my Judaism. The simple idea that a Jewish state should exist in the ancestral homeland of where the people of Israel was born completes the mosaic of what Jewish civilization means. My Zionism does not make my relationship with Israel any less complicated. Israel, like any democracy, is a complex and contradictory place in which ideals and reality do not always match up. Yet, as my friend Rabbi Josh Weinberg, president of ARTSA, the Reform Movement's Zionist wing, writes, he reminds us of a simple and modest request he would make on Yom HaAtzmaut, saying the following: let us take one day in our calendar without adding but or a caveat when expressing our pride and congratulatory spirit of Israel. We progressive American Jews should take Rabbi Weinberg's teaching to heart. We can take one day to leave conflicted feelings behind and simply rejoice. But, okay, I can't help myself. I'm Jewish. We exist in the tension of debate and discussion. As much as I am an unwavering Zionist, I've never felt comfortable with the prayer for the state of Israel. It begins like this: O Heavenly One, Rock and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, first flowering of our redemption. As much as I believe in the Jewish state, referring to it as, quote, the first flowering of our redemption sounds very messianic to me. It suggests that the state of Israel is the first step in the coming of the Messiah, or messianic time. Israel is essential to the life of our people, yes, but harbinger of the Messiah? That one is harder for me to wrap my head around. Recently, I was listening to Israeli singer Kobi Oz and his song, A Man with a Cardboard Sign. It helped me to make sense of this prayer by reframing the idea of Messiah. Oz's song on this Yom HaAtzmaut enables us to truly understand Israel as the first step in the process of redemption. Kobi Oz sings of a man standing on the highway, the Ayalon, that cuts through Tel Aviv each day as cars speed past him. The man is a Braslav Chassid, a pious man, some might even say a religious fanatic, and he's holding up a sign declaring that the Messiah is coming. Daily through sun, wind, and rain, he persists in standing there, holding up his cardboard sign. The protagonist of the song is a secular Israeli in his car, surrounded by others like him, rushing through the bustling city, honking and mocking the man with the sign. In the chorus, though, our Chassid pours forth, Mashiach, Mashiach, Ani rotze Mashiach. Messiah, Messiah, I want the Messiah, he sings. Each day the Israeli sees the Chassid, who seems a bit off, as he says, until the man in the car understands at the end of the song that the Messiah is not a person, that the Messiah is not a place at which we arrive. No, the Messiah, our Tel Avivnik declares, is the longing itself. Mashiach is our yearning. Israel truly is the first flowering of our people's redemption because Israel has always been about yearning and hope. Through the centuries, wandering through our dispersion at the mercy of unpredictable governments, we longed for homeland. Father of modern Zionism, Theodor Herzl famously declared, Im tirtzu ein zo agada. If you but will it, it is no legend, it is no dream. The longing can be put into action for a people not only to return home, but to build home. Herzl, in his prophetic vision, went on to state, I truly believe that even after we possess our land, Zionism will not cease to be an ideal. For Zionism includes not only the yearning for a plot of promised land legally acquired for our weary people, but also the yearning for ethical and spiritual fulfillment. In this sense, the home is never complete. It is ever evolving, in need of actualizing the longing. That process is the coming of the Messiah. The imagery in our prayer, Israel as the first flowering of our redemption, a garden that must be tended, a flower that must be nurtured and pruned, beds that must be weeded, soil that must be renewed. 73 years later, our yearning to realize an Israel that lives up to its highest ideals, as enshrined in its Declaration of Independence, continues to be a country for the benefit of all its inhabitants, based on freedom, justice, and peace, as envisaged by the prophets of Israel. It is the promise of a Jewish and democratic nation. We can feel the yearning every time Women of the Wall gather with Anat Hoffman, executive director of the Israel Religious Action Center, to pray at the Western Wall and exert the right of all Jews, in particular women, to pray and observe Judaism freely. We realize the yearning as Rabbi Gil Kariv was recently sworn into the Knesset for the Labor Party, the first Reform rabbi to serve in Israel's parliament. Yearning is a wave propelling Jewish, Muslim, and Christian youth who come together with Surfing for Peace, an initiative that teaches coexistence through surfing. At Temple Beth David, we taste the yearning when 80 of our members travel to Israel, or when our students connect with their partner school in Haifa, building bridges across the Jewish world. We yearn for when it is safe for us to travel and return to Israel. It can be hard to notice when redemption is upon us. Too often we miss the fact that the possibility of redemption is now. So as Israel enters its 74th year, let's lift up the longing for what is good and true in Israel. Let's pause to celebrate that hope, which is real, and do our part to tend to the first flowering of our redemption. Please join me on page 259 as we offer the prayer for Israel in Hebrew and in English. Avinu Shebashamayim, Sur Yisrael v'goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, Hagen aleha be'ervat chastecha, ufros aleha sukat shlomecha, ushlach orcha v'amitcha l'rasheha, sareha v'yoatzeha.
I think we're having some technical difficulties. We'll be back as soon as we can.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Is there a test pattern available?
I don't think so. I'll check. I don't know if they lost their internet altogether or.
They're probably trying to get it back right now.
Yeah, they just lost their internet connection.
From the storm.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if they've lost power or something.
Yeah, we had a glitch today.
Rabbi Citrin,
I was just gonna say, Rabbi.
would you like to finish our service for us? Not to put you on the spot, but
We lost internet.
We're back.
Oh, they're back.
they're back.
Good.
Oh, almost got to the Eleno.
Well, we figured you guys could have led the rest of the service.
We're doing it tomorrow.
I know.
Join us tomorrow.
All right. Well, hopefully you heard most of the prayer for the state of Israel. Yeah, we just lost our internet connection, but I think we're on. We do hope you'll join our lay-led minyan with Mark Alpian leading tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. And please see your weekly shofar email for really a lot of programs coming up and guest speakers, classes, and opportunities to volunteer. We're on the spring break from our youth programs this week, but lots to look forward to in the spring months. I'll just mention two other things. Next Shabbat evening, our rabbinic and education intern, Batya Illinois, will be sharing words of Torah and adding her voice to the music as well. So that will be next Shabbat evening. And the following Shabbat, which is April 30th, if the weather cooperates, we're going to start offering our Shabbat in the Lot outdoor in-person services along with live stream into May and the summer months. So it will be weather dependent, but look in your email. If you would like to join us outdoors, we'll have a sign up ready.
Connie has her hand up.
Connie, would you like to share something?
Connie, your hand is up. Is that a mistake or?
My hand being up is a mistake. I'm sorry. I don't even know how I did that.
We're glad that you're waving at us.
Right.
All right.
I have something.
So we're going to move into our concluding prayers for the Shabbat.
Hey, Brenda has something.
Again.
Oh,
even if we don't have our remote connection, we're all still connected.
Yes, Brenda?
I just wanted to remind everyone of the healthy Temple Beth David walking series that Alana put together. It's really wonderful. And there's one at Rocky Neck Wood Sunday at, I think, 3.
Is it Saturday?
It's been an hour and it's been really nice.
It's Saturday.
Is it Saturday this time? Okay.
Yeah. Saturday at 3.
The weather permitting.
Thank you. And there was a special email that went out on Thursday with all of the upcoming walks sponsored by our Member Connections Committee. So great way to meet fellow Temple members and exercise at the same time. So thank you. All right, we're going to move into our concluding prayers. You can count the Omer along with us on page 278, and I know we're missing being a temple, so hopefully you can see on our screen our beautiful Omer calendar at Temple Beth David.
Hineni mukhan umzuman l'kayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat haomer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Hayom esrim yom shehem shnei shavuot v'shisha yamin laomer. Today is the 20th day, which is 2 weeks and 6 days of the Omer.
Amen. And we're making sure to turn the stones at the temple. Okay, you can join us for Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, la'tekiu la'lioseh breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama,
שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Turn our thoughts now to memory, as we heard words from Hannah Senesh earlier in our service on page 291. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest nights, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We are especially remembering these loved ones, these members of our community who have passed away in recent weeks. Anne Single, longtime member of Temple Beth David. Mayor Peril, father of Abby Glazer, father-in-law of Avi Glazer. Linda Gervitz, mother of Michelle Withman, mother-in-law of Adam and grandmother of Sophia and Gabriel. And Bob Doucette, brother-in-law of Jane Feibelman. We remember these loved ones whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their deaths, occur on this Shabbat. Florence Chernman, Carmen DeRora, John Fink, Edward Freeman, Francis Garfinkel, Harriet Gilman, Dan Glasgow, Murray Hoffman, Kurt Kroch, Arthur Rock, Tilly Rodman, Joseph Sargon, Judy Sokolov, Paris I. Tarlin, Harold Tubman, Sid Zimmerman, Beatrice Kaplan. We also remember the over 20,000 souls of Israelis lost in the fight to create and establish a Jewish state. I invite you to take a moment to add any other names in your hearts or in our chat, and we'll join together in Mourner's Kaddish on page 294.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'almad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Vitadar vitale vitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom.
Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who makes peace above, bring peace here amongst all of us, and comfort to all who are bereaved. We say together, amen. We're going to end our service with Hatikva, the Hope, the national anthem of Israel, and then we'll invite Zelena Rausch and Seth Cohen to lead us in Kiddush tonight. So you guys are on deck. You can find the words to Hatikva in your prayer book on page 374. You'll notice that we are still standing. If it is your custom, we'd invite you to remain standing as well.
המים, ויותם חופשי בארצנו לארץ ציון ירושלים. ויותם חופשי בארצנו לארץ ציון וירושלים.
We are delighted to invite Zelena and Seth to lead us in Kiddush. And then when we get to Motzi, we'll invite everyone to unmute and join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'rasa b'anu, v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava, uvratzon hilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reisi. Yihu yom te'ila v'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'aharta, yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'arim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'yahava uvratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Thank you so much, Seth and Zelena, and thank you so much to Brenda and Liana for beginning our service by lighting our candles. If anyone is ever interested in having a part, please let us know. We're just glad to be able to celebrate Shabbat together in this way. We'll invite those who are on Zoom to unmute and join in the blessing of Motzi. And if you're still with us on live stream, you can shout it out in your house as well. Ready.
Okay, someone get the challah for the daughters.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, motzi lachem min haaretz, shalom. Welcome to unmute and send Sherry Shabbat greeting with all of us. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Shabbat
Nice to see you.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Have a good week.
You too.
This was
Thank
the
you.
week we were going to be in Israel.
Oh,
Yes, I know this was supposed
Oh
to
my
be.
gosh,
It was supposed
that's
to be.
right.
Really?
Oh,
We were going to go Wednesday, April 14th.
wow.
We're going to Revere.
Next year.
That's close.
That's close.
Careful.
Down the way.
It's further than I've been in the last year.
Jerusalem,
So-
Revere,
How about
Jerusalem,
this?
you know.
Sounds
How about
good.
75 and 75th in Israel? Things should really be safe then. Meet me in Israel for the 75th. I was there for the 50th.
Oh,
Is that next year? What percentage of vaccination are they up to now? It's high. 57%.
Oh, I heard it was over 60.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw 61 the other day, so.
Okay, you're quibbling now.
Yeah, but that's really, that's amazing.
I heard from Netanyahu, it's 107.
So I was thinking I was 4.5 months old when Israel was born.
They have food trucks doing vaccinations.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
yeah, I understand Israel leads the world in vaccinations.
Yes.
Yes.
Good for them.
Yeah.
We should have used Amazon. They're at the house every day anyway.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
Really good to see everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Everyone have a good week. Shabbat
You
shalom.
too.
Okay.
Good
Good night, everyone.
night.
Night.
Shabbat